Hey everyone, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here, and I want to talk about something today that is a big fear that so many of you have when it comes to really getting on board. And I don't mean just mentally, I mean like living your life according to universal laws, law of attraction, and all of that good stuff that we feel within us is powerful, and yet sometimes it really scares us. And this is a fear I used to have as well, and when I finally gave into it and released it, that's when everything changed for me. So that's why I want to talk about it with you today. What it is that often within law of attraction and all of that, we're told you've got to feel good now. We're told, you've got to, if you're not happy with your job, you've got to start finding the things that you do appreciate about your current job now. If you're not happy with your money situation, look for things that you can appreciate, be excited about and happy now, where you live, having a partner or not having a partner, all of these things. And this brings up, it's like, huge resistance because people are terrified. And like I said, I get it. I fought this for years. They are terrified that if they are in a situation that they would prefer to be different, and sometimes prefer really strongly to be different, that if they then start looking for the proof of the things that are going right now, if they start looking for the positive emotions within that, they're scared that then they will settle. And that what they are setting themselves up for is a lifetime of the exact experience they are having, which is what they're wanting to get away from. And that is the complete opposite of the truth. Now, I get why you think that. I used to think that too. I was living in this tiny apartment, and some of you have probably heard me talk about this, where I didn't even have a light in my shower. I had to get one of those push-on lights, and to be honest, when I did, I felt like I hit the lottery that day. So I was really in resistance to that space, to that apartment. I hated it. When it got too hot, I could smell the paint burning on the walls. I mean, this was not good. The neighbors were loud, and all I wanted was to get out of there. Well, as long as I wanted to get out of there, what did my attention go to? It went to how I could smell the paint. It went to how I could hear the neighbors. It went to how I didn't have a light in the bathroom and it smelled kind of like mold no matter how much I cleaned. That's where my attention was. Well, is that a higher vibrational frequency or a lower vibrational frequency? It's lower. And I was so scared of letting that go because I thought, well, if I don't pay attention to those things, I'm never going to want to move. I'm just going to hang out here happy in this. Well, first of all, what would be so terrible about that? But that's a whole other conversation. If you're actually happy, who cares? You're happy. That's all any of us are trying for. But what I'll tell you truthfully is what happens when you start looking around, and I've had to force myself to do this, guys, and this is what I'm gonna really stress for you to do and really take this on, over the next 7 days. We're not even gonna make this a 30-day challenge, we're gonna make it a 7-day challenge. Take this on and literally decide for this 7 days, even if it makes me totally uncomfortable, I am going to look at this situation that I would strongly prefer to be different, and I am going to find absolutely everything within it that I can appreciate. So back to my apartment, that's exactly what I started to do. So instead of noticing that I don't have a light in the shower and that the neighbors are noisy, what I did notice was there was this time at about 9:30 every morning where I was home, but all the neighbors were gone. And I didn't focus on all the neighbors were gone. Instead, what I noticed was that the birds were so beautiful. It sounded like there was like a Disney soundtrack playing outside my window. And I also started to notice the sunlight that came streaming in through the windows was so beautiful and peaceful. And at night, I could watch the sunset from my window. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Within, I believe it was 6 months, I literally had moved into a home that I never before would have imagined was possible. It met everything on my checklist of what I had wanted before when I was dissatisfied and more. It opened up a world to me that I would never have imagined when I was focusing on all that negative stuff. Because when I was focusing on all that negative stuff, that's all I could see. So I strongly urge you, take this 7 days, pick whatever thing you would really, really strongly prefer to be different, to be a different experience for you, and look at where you are right now. Let go of the fear of settling and start to notice everything positive that you can find and get creative. You're a detective in this, and you can do it. And when you do, when you release this resistance and you go there with me, everything is going to start to change in ways that you never imagined were possible. So until the next time, keep going big. I love having you all here. You are absolutely extraordinary.